Hi, I'm Philip, and I'm an agency nurse.
No. Nagtatawanan mo ako.
Alam mo kasi,
Hi, I'm Philip, and I'm an agency nurse.
so Philip, can you tell us what is agency nursing?
Yes. Nurse pa rin ako. Myself, I'm a theater nurse. So, hindi lang ako employed ng kahit anong hospital. I set up my own company, and then nag-register ako sa iba't ibang agency. Then I get my shift from them. Tapos, they would send me to different hospitals or be the same for a few days, for a few months. Asan yung assistant ko?
So Philip, can you tell us how long have you been doing agency work?
I've been doing the agency for 3 years full-time. Before noon, I worked in NHS for 7 years and worked in theaters, specialized in orthopedics. I do most stuff. And then I just decided after 7 years, because we moved as well, I decided na let me try the agency. And it's worked well for the past 3 years actually.
So Philip, pwede mo bang ibigay ang pros and cons ng working as an agency nurse?
Yung pros ko is, as an agency nurse, would be I can take my leave anytime I want. Basically, hindi ko kailangan paalam kahit kanino. Well, kailangan ko paalam sa agency na hindi ako pwede magtrabaho for certain days, certain weeks. I have the flexibility when to work when I want to. So I think yung primary pros sa pagiging agency nurse is I get a higher rate compared to being employed like previous work, NHS. And another one would be yung freedom to work anywhere. I can choose to work in certain hospital. The agency would decide to give me a shift in a certain hospital. If for some certain reasons hindi mag-work doon or nalalayuan ako, I can always call the agency and find another place to work. Another thing would be I'm self-employed. I've set up my own company. That means yung nakiklaim ko yung certain expenses ko, like yung petrol, yung gas ko. Kasi nag-drive ka talaga papunta sa mga hospital na yun. Claim mo yun, yung food mo, claim mo. And sasabihin sa accountant mo basically kung ano yung pwede mo i-claim. Kasi company ka. Yung sa cons naman is, ang pinakamalaking bagay is, it's no work, no pay. Nangyayari is, the agency or hospital might decide to cancel you same day or day before. So, hindi ka mababayaran doon. Or you might have a minimum payment in certain hours, pero hindi yung ina-expect mo. And then, that means no work, no pay. That means yung leave ko rin. Every time, yes, I can take my leave anytime I want. Pero hindi bayad yun. Magkasakit ako, hindi bayad yun. And then, another thing, unlike where I used to work in the NHS, may pension, maganda yung pension ng NHS, wala akong pension. I can set up my own private pension. That would be an option for you. Well, that should be an option for you. Yes, another cons would be yung travel. Since hindi ako permanently employed sa certain hospital, depends on the shift from the agency. Kung ano mabibigyan na sa akin shift, that means I have to travel. Personally, nakapag-travel na akong 2 hours away from saan ako nakatira, from my house. That's just one way. So that'd be 4 hours in a day that you're not paid. Hindi kasama sa shift mo yun, travel mo. Swertihan lang, I guess, kung ano yung makukuha mo shift, malapit or malayo. So, different hospitals ka talaga. That means, may experience ako na isang taon ako sa isang hospital. That's great, nakapag-adjust ako. Feel mo talaga na kilala mo yung mga tao doon, nakilala mo. Pero may experience ako in 1 week, in 5 days, it's 5 different hospitals. Basically, kailangan marunong ko mag-adjust kapag agency nurse ka. Kailangan marunong ko mag-adapt kung saan ka tatrabaho. Kailangan alam mo yung ginagawa mo basically. Kasi hindi ka nila kukunin ulit kapag hindi ka marunong. Who would pay someone to do a job na hindi nila alam, di ba? Makikita nila kung alam mo yung ginagawa mo eh.
Magkano ba ang sinisweldo ng isang agency nurse?
Sure, Manong. I want you to remember yung kung sa sinabi ko, walang stability yung work ko. Yun yung gusto ko ay parating. So you would expect a higher rate compared to a permanent staff. From my personal experience as a scrub nurse, the rate has been 22 to 37. Yung pinakamalaki nakuha, that's per hour. And I think you should be able to get something higher for weekends as well. It all depends sa needs ng hospital, sa agency, and yung certain days, yung weekends, bank holidays even. So, yes, mas malaki talaga siya.
So, Philip, any advice sa mga nurse na gustong itry mag-agency work?
Yes, just make sure that you're allowed to do it, visa restrictions and everything else, and you're ready to do it, and you have enough experience to do it. Basically, hindi kayo naibubook ulit kung parang hindi mo alam yung ginagawa mo. Gusto mo na magustuhan ka ng hospital para i-book ka nila again and again. And ako personally, nag-struggle ako ng first few shifts ko. Nagulat ako na parang ganito pala to. Akala ko ready na ako. Pero it took me a few months. And another pinaka-importanting masasabi ko siguro is yung finances mo. Make sure as a company, alam mo paano i-handle yung finances mo.
So, thank you, Philip, for your time. And anong sasabihin mo sa ating mga viewers before we go?
So, subscribe to Manong George, hit that button, and hit that bell as well to get your notifications tuwing may bagong video siya. And ako magkasabi, okay, always remember, Manong knows!
Mas maganda yun.